team.
Damn.
I got a team I committed to ahead of time.
Damn.
And I needed to make sure they got the credit for what they did, you know what I mean? That was the only reason.
A newly unearthed interview with Nipy Hustle is sending shockwaves across the hip-hop world. In footage recorded just months before his tragic passing, the late rapper opened up about loyalty, authenticity, and the hidden agendas lurking in the industry. While he praised Rick Ross's business hustle, Nipy didn't hold back. He warned that not everyone moves how they claim. According to him, real power isn't about money. It's about integrity. Fans have flooded social media, calling this resurfaced clip Nipy's final warning, suggesting he sensed betrayal long before his death. The interview shows a man fully aware of the politics and manipulation around him. His words hit harder than ever now, a chilling message from beyond about the dangers of misplaced trust. Nipy's rejection of Rick Ross's deal wasn't just business, it carried a deeper meaning. Right before he passed, he laid everything out for the world to see. Nipy Hustle wasn't just chasing fame. He was building an empire brick by brick. That same independence that made him legendary also shook the music industry to its core. While other artists were signing away their futures for quick cash, Nipy turned down a deal with Rick Ross and MMG, opting for legacy over instant riches. Some say that choice brought consequences far bigger than anyone expected. He didn't wait for labels to hand him success. Nipy created it himself, selling his Lincoln, pawning jewelry, leaving the block behind, and investing in his own recording setup. That sacrifice most rappers talk about but rarely live. Nipy wasn't rapping about the grind. He was the grind. Every move he made was about ownership, independence, and long-term freedom, not fleeting fame. Betting on himself when nobody else would, he became a symbol of real power. From the beginning, he moved like a CEO, confident in his worth long before the industry recognized it. Money? Built from scratch with his own team. Promotion? Handled himself. Radio plays? Paid for by him and his crew. Nipy wasn't looking for a handout, he wanted a seat at the table, and anything less was disrespect.
It's like I said, my goal was to create a situation where I could walk into one of these majors and operate as a partner.
Right.
And even since my early stuff, I never really was just an artist. I always bought my equipment. Day one, I sold my Lincoln, sold my Rolex, sold my jewelry, left my dope spot, turned it into a studio, bought equipment. My brother matched me, my homeboy bought my Lincoln from me, brought me a trash bag full of cash, bought my rims, my Alpinas. I sold all the things I was functioning off of, took all my money, and my brother matched me. We went to Sam Ash and we bought all the equipment when I was 19.
Ownership was everything to Nipy. He believed no artist should trade their power to be heard. In his own words, he had to elevate his profile and build real leverage until my value matched my vision. Validation wasn't the goal. Generational power was. Every move he made reflected that mindset. Major labels like Def Jam, Capitol, and even Atlantic once overlooked Nipy. They didn't see the vision, didn't recognize the value. But Nipy doubled down on himself, stacking leverage until those same labels had no choice but to respect him. Confidence like that? Rare, dangerous. The industry rewards followers, not leaders. Labels want poets they can manage, not kings. But Nipy refused to play by their rules. He wasn't just chasing hits, he was rewriting the game. His mission? Ownership, influence, and showing others the power of freedom. Independence in the industry is treated like rebellion, and Nipy's every move painted a target on his back. Every step challenged a system built on control. And the higher he climbed, the more dangerous his independence looked. Then came Rick Ross, the heavyweight behind Maybach Music Group.
Nip had no ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me, you know, I want to get into real estate, I want you to teach me all your, you know what I mean, like your business secrets, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
When Rick Ross came knocking with that MMG offer, it was tempting. Seriously tempting. MMG was dominating, Ross had the industry's respect, and signing under him meant instant cosigns and access to a global machine. Most rappers would have jumped at that deal without a second thought, chasing fast money and clout. But Nipy? He wasn't built that way. He sat down with Ross, talked business like a real CEO, and kept it 100. He told Ross straight up. He respected him as a hustler. Everything Ross said, Nipy lived it. Every promise, genuine. But respect didn't mean surrender. freedom mattered more than any contract ever could. And Ross? He knew exactly what Nipy brought to the table. The vision, the movement, the street influence. Even without a mainstream hit, Ross saw the king in the making. On paper, the deal made sense. A partnership that could have flipped the game. But Nipy walked away. Not out of ego, but loyalty. He had a team who'd been there from day one, people who invested everything when labels laughed. Nipy refused to let a major label take credit for what his circle built. In his own words, "I'm not taking that from my team." That loyalty, that principle, outweighed fame or fortune. And that choice, it cemented him as one of the few truly built for longevity. Think about it. Most would have signed just for the chain, the clout, or standing next to Ross.
Your record.
No, I'm saying Lauren was that Cassie's birthday.
You know what I'm saying? Everything he done said, he done done. Every combo we had, every time I sent a verse, he executed it. So I got a lot of respect for Rose. So I'd have done it off just G.
The offer alone would have been enough for most artists to jump. But Nipy doubled down on independence, betting on his people and his own brand. He didn't chase validation. He created value that made the industry chase him. Loyalty over fame. Principles over paper. But let's keep it real. This didn't sit well with everyone. Word is, Ross didn't take the rejection lightly. They still had respect, sure, but tension simmered behind the scenes, and here's where it gets darker. Ross was tight with major players, including heavyweights like Diddy. Once Nip's influence and refusal to bend caught their eyes, whispers started. Things around him began to get complicated. Some say his refusal to sign with Ross set off a chain of events no one expected. Then came Lauren London, introducing Nipy to Diddy. At first, fans saw it as a huge win, Nip stepping into rooms with the biggest names, finally getting recognition. But over time, that moment started to feel less like a blessing and more like the start of something sinister. Jaguar Wright pointed it out. Lauren introduced Nip to Diddy, and things spiraled in ways fans still can't shake. Questions started surfacing. Was Lauren truly on Nip's side, or was she unknowingly moving in circles that didn't have his best interests at heart? Timing raised eyebrows. She even admitted attending a death seminar before Nip's passing, a revelation fans found chilling, as if she was being mentally prepared for tragedy long before it struck.
Atlantic, you already know they tradition. They make household names.
Yeah, man.
And they've been successful doing that for years.
But being so successful on your own.
Right.
That's why when I saw this announcement, I was like, man.
Yeah.
Like Nip didn't just walk in there.
Nah, we've been trying to land on the terms that we landed on for some years.
Yeah.
So it just was about me raising my leverage and my profile to where I could really justify what I was asking for.
Yeah.
And you know, I respect that. Like if I come in here and make a request, you gotta, and they, you know, the answer is like, you ain't worth that shit. You gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go get
it. It's possible, but you gotta work for
Sometimes you gotta show and tell people your worth too. Yeah, Atlantic Pack, they passed on you earlier, right?
Yeah. I said Drake passed, Def Jam, Capital Atlantic too. Thought that I'd be dead or doing life because what I rap is true. So I was just talking about all the labels that I walked in them buildings and played music before I, you know, like I said, had value. And some of them felt it, some of them didn't get it, but I just was referencing taking those meetings and how that felt.
Then came the aftermath. When Nipy passed, it wasn't one of his closest friends stepping up publicly, it was Diddy. He was the one offering comfort to Lauren, giving advice that instantly sent shockwaves online. Reportedly, he told her, "Look, boo, you've shown everybody what it looks like to hold a man down and to love him. Now show them what it looks like when it all crumbles. That's your responsibility." Fans noticed immediately. The use of boo, the nickname Nipy himself used for Lauren. That detail didn't just raise eyebrows, it came off as tone-deaf, even disrespectful. The coincidence felt too close for comfort, sparking whispers that Diddy's involvement with Lauren might go deeper than anyone realized. Speculation spread fast. What was meant as an introduction, connecting industry minds may have unintentionally opened doors to manipulation, or even danger. Some believe that when Nipy entered those elite circles, he saw things powerful people didn't want him to expose. Suddenly, rumors felt like warnings. In an industry built on control and secrets, some connections cost far more than they promise. Old photos resurfaced online showing Lauren and Diddy looking uncomfortably close, smiling, locked in conversation, while Nipy stood just a few steps behind, almost like the third wheel in his own circle. That visual fueled even more speculation about what was really happening behind the scenes. Then there's Victory Lap, Nipy's dream project, the album that cemented his legacy. Few know that Diddy played a part in shaping it. Former Bad Boy security chief Gene Deal revealed that Nipy personally asked Diddy to help structure Victory Lap like Biggie's Life After Death, the legendary album that dropped right after Biggie was killed. That single choice has since taken on a chilling resonance, drawing eerie parallels fans can't ignore.
As I was educated in music, that's what the production company does. That's what the label, the radio promo. We was going up there and buying the radio spots. We was booking out the House of Blues.
What you would have to
Well, I told you I didn't have.
Fans now say that move might have opened a door
Nipy never should have stepped through. With Diddy's influence in the mix, Nip started spending more time around his circle, not just in the studio, but in private spaces, including Puff's mansion, where power dynamics could get blurred. To many, it looked like a setup, the kind of place where mentorship easily slips into manipulation. The more Nipy's name grew, the more it seemed he was being pulled into a world that didn't align with his values. Letting Diddy so close to his creative process gave him access to parts of Nip's life that some believe should have stayed private. And here's where Rick Ross slides back in. Remember, Ross and Puff were close, longtime collaborators and business partners. Speculation runs deep that when Nipy turned down MMG, Ross didn't just move on. He remembered. Add a bruised ego to Puff's controlling habits, and suddenly, the energy around Nipy started feeling dangerous. Whispers spread. That combination of wounded pride and industry politics created the perfect storm for betrayal. What was supposed to be collaboration turned into a web of power, jealousy, and hidden agendas. Connect the timelines. The deal rejection, the mansion meetings, the eerie parallels to Biggie, and it paints a haunting picture of how quickly loyalty can become lethal in an industry built on fame and control. As Nipy's circle tightened, tension thickened. Whispers claimed he was getting too powerful, too aware, too smart. He wasn't just building a business anymore, he was building freedom. And freedom has a price when you're surrounded by people profiting from control. Behind closed doors, Nipy was reportedly working on more than music. He started piecing together a documentary about Dr. Sebi, the controversial herbalist whose death sparked endless questions. The project aimed to highlight self-healing, community ownership, and economic independence. But to some industry figures, that message was dangerous. It threatened a system that keeps artists dependent and controlled. Around this time, insiders say Nipy moved differently, more guarded, more protective of his work, aware eyes were on him. That quiet confidence turned sharp. He carried the look of a man who knew knowledge had made him a target. Big names started distancing themselves, while others quietly advised him to slow down, focus on music, leave bigger battles alone. But Nipy couldn't be silenced. His stores thrived. His label stayed independent. His message empowered a generation of artists to own their masters, likeness, and legacy. Reports surfaced that he was pulling out of certain business ties to powerful execs. He wanted total independence, seeing how contracts trap artists and partnerships can become cages. Cutting ties in an industry built on control makes people notice. And fast. Insiders believe that's when tension peaked. Nipy stopped being seen as an artist and started being seen as a threat. He was on the verge of something major, combining music, business, and activism in a way that could have changed the game. But power like that makes the system panic. Forces that once celebrated him went quiet when protection was needed most. The streets still talk about it. A man who gave back, preached independence, built ownership, facing enemies hidden in plain sight. Some claim Ross linked up with Puff behind the scenes, pulling strings we'll never see. Nipy Hustle had become too smart, too independent, too revolutionary. He didn't need gatekeepers, cosigns, or handouts. He was building his empire brick by brick, proving artists could rise without sacrificing freedom. But that kind of power doesn't sit well in a control-driven industry. They want pawns, not kings. And Nipy refused to play that game. So, yeah, Eric Holder pulled the trigger and is serving 60 years, but many believe he was just the fall guy, a pawn in a bigger game. The real players were behind the curtain, making sure Nipy never reached his destined level. Too much influence, too much power. That makes you dangerous. Fans weighed in online. Nipsey was so focused on maintaining his persona, he didn't even see it coming. Another said, if Nipy had signed that deal, he would have been alive. But maybe that was the point. Nipy chose loyalty over comfort, independence over control. He wasn't built to follow, he was built to lead. The post that sums it up. Turning down MMG when he was still relatively unknown because he didn't want to steal recognition from his team. That's character. That's Nipy Hustle, a leader, a visionary, a man who valued principle over profit. Safety be damned. And the questions linger. Did his loyalty and independence paint a target on his back? Was Lauren unknowingly caught in the middle, or playing both sides? Did Puff have a deeper hand in the story than anyone admits? The truth is buried somewhere in power, pride, and betrayal. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This story is far from over. And if you're ready for more raw truth and bold takes, hit like, subscribe, and click the next video. You won't want to miss what's coming next.